Shane, just give up. Just shut it down and go to bed. Come on now, you're killing me. I fought demons and dragons and balrogs, and you're the one killing me. Let's call it a night, Shane. I'm serious now. Don't make me... Listen, let me put it to you like this.
You're out of ammo. Where did your health go? You'll never get far without a life bar. Don't fight them, just flee. Clearly you're sleepy. You could be snoozing instead of losing. No more dying. Please stop trying. You need skill, Shane, and you haven't got any. If gaming skills were money, then you wouldn't have a penny. You need luck, Shane, but you're flat out of that. Here comes another pitfall, and there you go, splat. I'm not surprised to see you lying there dead. I think the headshot was invented when you stuck out your head. Is there a button broke? Is this as slow as you can race? Out of only 7 racers, you're in 47th place. You must be lost now. Where's that other puzzle piece? You've been down this fucking corridor a dozen times at least. Is this Lemmings? Because you just ran off a cliff, and your stupid face was priceless. I hope someone makes a gif. Game over, Shane. It's game over, Shane. That's right. Game over, Shane. Go to bed. Game over, Shane. My name is Wally, I'm a wizard, and you know I've been around. So don't be talking shit or I'ma have to put you down. I've got a magic wand, and I rock it like a mace, and then I'll hop onto my dragon and we'll torch the whole place. I'm an old boss, so they shower me with riches. I got magic in these fingers, just ask my 20 bitches. Game over, Shane. It's game over, Shane. Turn the power off.
Hello.
Hello everyone.
I think we should be live. In theory, we're live.
Okay, yep.
We live?
Seems to
I
work.
think so. Can you hear us all?
Can you hear me as well?
Music too loud. What music? Everything is a lie. Let me check on my laptop.
The stream is a lie.
Hey, test, test, test. 1, 2, test. It's fine to me. Hey, welcome everyone. 10 people watching right now. I just realized I forgot something. Didn't do any of the widgets, but that's okay. Let's leave it for now. So, what are we going to do today, Matthias?
Well, we're going to explain what the second page of the alpha was about, and we're going to react to a few who sent us their email and wanted us to read out their answers aloud.
Okay, how do you wanna do this? We just go through the questions first, and then you can explain them a little bit?
Yes, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay.
But you didn't include them into the
Sorry?
stream. You didn't include them into the stream, did you?
No, not yet. On? Yet.
Okay.
Stay there.
Okay. Seems like the stream is frozen.
Stream is frozen. What?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. We're both at home and I just set this up, so I hope it just works. Who's here anyways? Say hi in chat. Tell us who's here. Who's watching. Not me. Bye. So everybody's leaving now? You don't want to be called out, is that it? Hi, Taser King.
It seems like after
Where's-
refreshing it works again.
Did Jeremy go asleep?
Okay. Oh.
I think
I
I
can see the
might have
screen.
broken Discord. least your face is frozen.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I can see your screen.
okay,
so
it's working again.
At least in one way it works.
Perfect. Or maybe not. I think I know what the problem is. Yeah, now it works. Yes, it's not frozen anymore. Yeah, you're right.
So,
Oh, this is not how I set it up a few minutes ago. Let me just fix
okay.
the... Oh, I know why. Because I changed the window.
I noticed that the breathing sounds awkward. Is it better now?
Let me fix the survey. Yeah, so we still a bit in setting up mode.
Well, usually you would do this at least an hour in advance, but if you're speedy, then 5 minutes are fine.
But I wasn't here an hour ago, so... But I think this works now. And it's not blocking anyone. Okay, seems good. Speed is just speedy.
Mm-hmm.
I see. See where this is going, okay. It looks fine to me now.
Yep,
We can
seems
see
to work.
this. So go ahead. Let's explain this.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah.
Based on most of the answers, a lot of you seem to be confused about the second page of the survey.
Should we first show everything?
Well, I guess the first page is just collecting, statistical data, so we can randomize each group. Yeah, perfectly.
So I'm just
Not
scrolling
much
through this.
magic method.
Not much here. Have you played Perfect Tower before? Do you understand that this is testing? And that a lot of it will be broken, basically. And then we come to the second page.
Yep.
Background check, as you called it.
Yeah, the background check. Well, basically we're looking for a certain type of personality for the alpha, because as you know, I have to turn down the stream a bit because I'm hearing my own voice. So now it's better. Yeah. Well, basically we're looking for a certain type of personality for the alpha, because the alpha is of course missing a lot of features, and all the features that are in there are most likely either not finished or might be broken or something, or probably quite unbalanced. So if you're easily distressed or angry, or I don't know, if you can't handle difficult or confusing situations, then the alpha is most likely not going to be the best thing for you. So yeah. And this was just basically an experiment, because basically a test to look for a certain type of personality, and it kind of turned out well. There were certain applications which we could immediately put to the side for the beta or for the late alpha, because these people would probably just rage around while playing the closed alpha, the first version of the first semi-public version of the game. Yeah, so there was no real right or wrong answer to each question. It was just
You gotta tell me when I should scroll a bit through it.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused because I'm seeing you playing right now. Okay,
I have to look at the stream.
Yeah. Yeah. But behind each question there was an idea. The questions are not simply some random things. They all have different purpose or meaning. So basically, why do you want to participate in a closed alpha was just to get a response, basically why you want to join the alpha. Not this question is actually the one that's most direct. That's not has no hidden meaning or anything. Just I don't know. Most people fill out the other option, which was great because yeah, some of you wrote yeah short stories or yeah long texts really. Okay. The next question about the book was just there to confuse, to check if someone who has played or not played Perfect Tower 1, how this person is going to react to this question, and if they're still taking the service serious after reading this question. Because actually, it's kind of weird how many people get angry about such a random question. Well, some of the answers were not really nice, and yeah. Basically, whatever you answered, as long as you answered anything creative, even I don't know, is enough. As long as you don't swear in that answer, your chances are very likely that you'll make it into the alpha. Then the logic question, which was kind of interesting to find out if people thought rather logically about these questions or creatively, because usually as this question was answered completely different based on how you were reading these questions. Some people answered it quite logically. So logically, the answer would be no, because if some cats are big and some big things are hungry, then it does not imply that some cats are hungry, because the big things that are hungry don't have to be cats. But in a realistic scenario, of course, every cat is always hungry, even if you feed them multiple times. And the answers on this question were quite mixed, ranging from a perfect explanation about the logical solution, the realistic solution, and even creative answers. And some answers are actually, yeah, were quite insulting actually. But yeah, that's actually what the second page was for. Yeah,
By
yeah,
the way,
I've seen your message.
If you have any questions about this, just ask in chat, and yes, we will answer
I'm
it.
trying to read the chat as well, and yeah, I've seen your email. Okay, so okay, now the next question: if you granted one superpower for choice, this was just yeah, another, let's say, creative question to check if you're just trying to get as fast as possible through a survey, or if you take your time and think about something. And yeah, as long as you filled anything out that's just that's different from random letters or any insults or something like that, it's perfectly fine. And just looking at Sabotoyan's, is it? Yeah, Sabotoyan's answer. It's, yeah, it's quite long.
Okay, we will look
Yeah,
at
but
some of them,
anything
and I
that's
think his is one of the ones that we're going to look at, right? So
yeah. Yes.
you keep
Anything
bringing
that's
up
that you want.
insults. What is the sort of insulting stuff, if you can say?
I don't know if I can say this on the stream. Let's see. Let's check the summary.
We check.
Okay, now we can't say that on the stream. But they're quite interesting answers actually. And interestingly, teleportation, telekinesis, and time manipulation are actually the most common answers. It's interesting. Interesting to know.
Can we just address for a moment that those little visitors, they just like the volcano. They just go dive in the volcano.
Yeah.
Don't know if you noticed, but they are
Yeah,
all
it has
collected around the volcano now, and they all want to go swim in the volcano. Magic use is a very versatile power, yeah. I guess it is.
It's an universal.
I guess
Well, actually,
someone
someone wrote omnipotence. Omnipotence, so basically that includes all powers. questions.
You wanna go ahead to the next question, or?
Yeah, I'm just looking if I found anything, any insults that are okay for the stream. Some of these things are even quite sad, and some are pretty creative. But and just the letter S does not count as a superpower. There are even more. Okay, well, it's too many to look through. Just boring to read through all of them right now. Okay, so yeah, it was just a creativity check if you're still taking the answer seriously, because you were asked at the beginning to answer all the questions seriously. So if you wrote anything in there that shows that you're not interested in answering this question, then you either did not read through the header, or don't have the patience for the alpha. Yeah, it's just for your own good. I was not trying, or we were not trying to be trying to exclude certain people, but we're doing this for your own good, because the alpha is going to be pretty,
Well, it's going to be
pretty
broken.
interesting.
It's not gonna be done at all. Balance is gonna be awful. It's not going to be the game that it will be when it's releasing. So it's just testing and seeing how things work, what's broken, and so we can improve the game and show you the current state and develop it together actually. Because we rely on your feedback. So if you have anything, like if you get into the alpha, and I think most of you will anyways, let me first explain this again. We're not going to give access to everyone who will be part of the alpha right away. On the date that the alpha is going to start, only like 10 people will get access. Then a few days later, another 10 people will get access, and then we'll like do weekly or maybe every few days add more people to it, because we want to just see, like, if everything's broken at the beginning, there's no point in getting like 50 people at once reporting the same thing. So we want to make sure that the basic stuff is at least it works, and we just need a few testers for that at the beginning, and then we'll add more and more people to get like more feedback, of course, and more opinions.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's also important that the type of feedback we'll receive or you're going to give is something that's I don't want to say professional, but at least somehow useful in a positive sense. Because if you just report this feature is horrible or something, that's okay. You can write even the feature is total. I don't know what am I allowed to say on the stream? Are there any restrictions?
Just Twitch restrictions.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. If you say the feature is horrible, that's a bit too little information.
I mean, you
if it's
you can
shit, for example.
Keep it like PG-13, I guess.
Okay. Okay. So basically, you can tell us if the feature is shit, for example. Tell us why it's shit. What do you hate about it? What exactly was it that annoyed you? What was it that was broken or anything? Yeah, because there are a lot of people who report things and just say they don't like them, but not what they don't like about it. Because there are going to be things which certain people are not going to like because they don't like it at all. But even that little thing, that at all, is enough information for us to do something about it. Yeah.
And of course, if you have any like ideas yourself, just include them in your feedback. Say, oh, I didn't like this because nah, but you could make it better by doing this or that, or why don't you try this? We'll definitely listen to your feedback. Maybe depending on how much feedback we get and how much time we have, we might even try some of your things out, like the things that you just suggest. We will try them out on stream probably. So we'll implement them and try them out while you can watch, and maybe we can like work together on it. But that will depend on what kind of feedback we get, how much time we'll have to do this. But it's just an idea.
Yep. Okay. So the next question regarding which of the following is the biggest in terms of diameter? This was another question to check. Are you serious? Are you being creative? Are you completely random? So actually, whatever you answered on this question, it's not relevant. I just have to say, from all the applications we received, no one answered Earth. Yeah, but at least 95% took the sun.
I think
Okay. Just
once
to
we're
check
done
if
with this,
you're.
we can look a little bit at the statistics. I can show them very shortly.
Mhm.
But let's first finish up the few more questions.
Yes, sure. Okay. Okay, next question. Which three people, either friends or family, not including strangers, are the most important in your life? Another mix between being creative, being serious, just to check how you answer the question. Because the restriction was either friends or family, not including strangers. And a lot of people, yeah. I don't know. Seems like a lot of people know Elon Musk personally. And yeah. And a few video game characters. That was quite interesting. And I didn't know that a lot of people, a lot of, that many of you know Speedy Brain personally. That's great. Yeah. But yeah, as long as you listed three people, actually the restrictions isn't that strict. It's fine. No wrong or right answers there.
Everyone that's on Discord is pretty much my friend, so we're all friends here.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, the me, myself, and I answer is quite. It's just checking it. Yeah, written in different ways, but some people write me, myself, and I, me, or I, me, myself, me, and myself. So actually, this is quite a common answer. Yeah. Okay, next one. If offered for free, would you replace your real biological arm with a synthetical one if it enhances all your abilities like mobility, strength, and speed while keeping all your regular sensations? If not, please explain why. Another question to check how creative you are. And I have to admit, Sabotoyan's answer is by far actually the answer which took the question in the most serious way. So it's going to be interesting. We are going to read it out aloud. Yeah, but also no real answers as long as you answered it in a way that makes sense to the question. So yes, no, or an explanation. Everything's okay. Yeah.
What would be your favorite pet?
Yeah. Favorite pet, including fantasy and mythical creatures. Yeah. Another question to check if you two things: if you either like pets or not, and if you're being serious, creative, or just to see how you're answering the question. And actually, the answers at this question are quite interesting, because a lot of people choose dogs and cats, even though fantasy and mythical creatures were allowed. So, yeah, I guess cats and dogs are the best pets.
It's a thing. I mean,
Yeah.
they're great. I personally prefer cats over dogs, but you know,
Yep.
you do
Same.
you.
Okay. Well, actually, everything's okay. Okay.
I'm looking forward to you explaining the next question. That's why I'm smiling already.
No, I'm just reading through all the answers, and
Who
it's
wouldn't want
interesting
their
what some
own
people
pet
consider as a pet.
servers? Who wouldn't want their own pet servers? I mean, that's just a great answer.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, some
I
people
mean,
had their mom
think
as a
about
pet.
it. I would like a servers like just in front of my door. Nobody would break in, right?
Yeah, but you wouldn't get out of the door too.
Why do we need to? Plus, it's my
Feed it.
pet, so we have a special bond, I guess.
it's also interesting that my mom and your mom are also considered pets.
I mean, including fantasy.
Well, isn't your mom real? Okay. But yeah, as long as you answered anything in there that makes sense in the context of the question, it's fine. Okay, yes, even a car counts as a pet. Okay, and then the last question of the second page, the one that most likely confused everyone. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much is 4 times 7? This question was actually completely random. Just yeah.
Yes.
Actually, just
No.
to be yeah. And let's see if this makes people angry on the next page.
But
Because
actually, there's a fun fact about this question. Because a lot of people have answered the same way.
Yep.
So
if you go by statistics, it's the answer to this question is most likely 0 or 10, because most of the people answered 0 or 10. And 1 and 9 are the least favorite answers.
let's go quickly go through the optional information here on the last page, and then we can show the statistic and begin to like look at actual answers, because I think there will be more
interesting.
Yeah.
Also, there's an Easter egg on the final page. There was a little spoiler about the game. I guess most of you have noticed it. Yeah.
How difficult was the previous section? Easy, medium, hard, insane, nightmare, impossible. So, what was this question for?
Just to see if Actually, I can't really tell why this question is there, because that would
Okay. Anyways, let's skip this one.
Yeah.
Do you have any programming experience? Why is this important? Why should we ask people if they have any programming experience?
Yeah, this was just interesting to see if the people who apply are programmers themselves or not, or yeah. Also, it's interesting because we know who is going to be in which testing group. So we know if the people who gives feedback is a programmer themselves and knows, for example, how much time it's going to take to implement certain things. Because usually people with no programming experience have huge ideas and don't realize that they're very complex to implement. So to factor this into account when they give feedback, so we know, okay, this person is a programmer, so he knows this is going to be expensive or not. Or yeah, if someone, I don't know, requests something pretty big, and we see, okay, he's not a programmer, okay, then it's clear that this person just requests this because, yeah. I guess you know what I mean.
Are you usually on time? I mean, this is kind of question where you think, will people answer truly if they're not? I mean, I guess a lot of people would have thought about, oh, why is this question there? Do they just want to see if I'm, if I'm reliable or not? So what is the actual, like, what's the idea behind it? Why is this question there?
Actually, this was just to match up statistics versus how truthfully someone answers. Because if you go by statistics, most people are not on time most of the time. So actually, actually rarely should be the most answered answer, but it's actually the second least answered one. Someone even said never, which seems to be quite honest. But yeah, it's impressive that 70% answered that they're on time most of the time, which is actually good. Yeah. Yeah, just an.
So,
Since these questions are optional, they're actually for statistics only.
Let me just make a comment here, because Shaika16 just said, I'm generally on time most of the time to all the time. somehow. And I guess it's true because somehow he always manages to get to our stream even though he doesn't sleep. And then when he goes to sleep, we're about to stream, so he wakes up and he always makes it. So I guess I can believe that. I truly believe that you are most of the time on time. Somehow.
Yeah. That's also impressive that 23.3% answered that they're always on time. That's a lot, actually. If I look at my friends and family and anything, yeah, it would be nice if even 2% of them would be on time, always. Always on time.
I mean, always on time is actually something. Always is a bit tricky. You can't always be on time because
Yeah, it's meant in a common
I know,
common
but
understanding of always. So if you're in, let's say, 98% of the time on time, then that counts as always. I would say, because 100% always is not possible, because then you would, yeah, have to factor in, I don't know, things like natural disasters or anything,
I mean,
anything that can stop you from reaching a certain destination.
in my girlfriend's friend circle, somehow there's like this meme that 2 times is always. So if something happens 2 times, it happens always.
Basically, if you're on time 2 times,
then
out of
you're always on
100,
time, I guess.
you're always on time. Okay. Next question.
Do you have pets, or do you have a pet?
Yeah, just another question for statistics to check if how your favorite fantasy pet differs from your real pet. And yeah, in reality, most of the people have cats and dogs.
So how many
It's actually not
people, if
surprising.
any, wrote down like their fantasy pet again? Are there any?
Actually, someone has a dragon.
I
It's
mean,
quite interesting.
some lizards account, you could say they're dragons. So that's something that I can believe.
Okay. Yeah, just a statistics question.
I remember when I was younger and I won a fish at the carnival, and he gave me the fish in a bag, but it was legit a dead fish floating in the bag. I mean, that's just horrible. Were, were you like a kid? Because if you're a kid and you get handed a dead fish, I mean, like 6, God, I can't really believe that. It's just horrible.
Yep. Actually, that's Huel one has a point. To give pets, it
True.
doesn't say it has to be real life.
That's true. It doesn't say.
Actually, I never wrote it anywhere. So yeah, another statistics question, so no right or wrong answers. It's interesting that some people keep their human roommates as pets. I don't know if that's legal.
When those are the funny answers, right?
Yep.
And the
And the
last.
last question, yeah, how did you hear about the Perfect Tower 2 for the first time? Yeah, another just a statistics question to see, yeah, how did you hear about the game first, and where the most people are, to see where the most people are talking about the Perfect Tower 2, or where we are going to attract the most people for Perfect Tower 2. And yeah, almost 50% are from Congregate, which is interesting. Yeah, then comes Reddit, and then Discord.
It was like interesting to see the people on Reddit heard from Perfect Tower 2 for the first time on Reddit, because generally the Perfect Tower Reddit was dead. So I don't know who still checked the Reddit or just found it by, I don't know, accident, or looked for something and then stumbled across the Perfect Tower 2. That would be actually interesting. So if anyone is watching right now that got to know the Perfect Tower 2 from Reddit, how did you find it? Like, how did you get on Reddit and find it? Please let us know.
Huh. One person actually wrote from Speedy himself. Did you close the page?
Yes, just to go to this one
Ah, there
for
it
some
is.
statistics.
Okay, so most of you are between 13 and 17, which is not a big surprise. Okay, we actually have one person. Yeah.
One person
So-
that's 41 plus.
Yep.
Could also be the spam bot, right? We had a spam that we
Yeah,
didn't delete yet. So I don't know if
just
that was that one or it's a legit one.
so male or
Good.
female. Also, just a statistics question. Yeah, 90% male. Looks like a Pac-Man.
It's very interesting. For a long time it was just male, like really just male, and then some prefer not to say. Eventually a female popped up, and then some non-binary. Exactly. And an unknown biological being. I think that's just one person though.
So your regular occupation?
Most of you
Another
seem to be
statistics question, and
students.
most of you are students, so
Yeah.
just as expected.
So you have a lot of time to play, I guess. So have you played Perfect Tower? And yes, if yes, for how long? It's actually interesting that there were some people that have never played it, but most people actually played the Perfect Tower.
One of them could be the spam answer, spam bot answer.
That's true.
The second one. Yep. Yeah. But so everyone is going to join the closed alpha is going to have at least 1 month of Perfect Tower 1 experience. Yeah, and everyone understood the two questions except for the spam answer.
Exactly, it's the one answer. And this we can't really like say because most people actually wrote a customized response and not just picked any of the default ones that were there.
At least more than 50% are either I have a lot of free time or hype. And 5 people are even professional testers.
Or at least they say they are. How do we know?
Yeah, a lot of these answers.
Just scroll through some of them.
Yeah.
Blueberries. I don't know. Is like the most common answer, I think. People saying I don't know.
Let's don't scroll too far. If they're not safe for work things.
Then the
Let's
cats
just
question.
look at the circles.
Sorry?
Let's just look at the circles.
Okay.
Detailed answers.
Biggest, you already mentioned this. So nobody said Earth, and most people, 95 people said the sun.
94%.
Yes, 95%. And here we go to the scale again. Like you mentioned before, 0 and 10 are the most people.
It's interesting because it's almost a curve. So going down from 0 to 5, also going down from 0 to 5, and then going upwards from 5 to 10. But 9 and 1 are exceptions.
How difficult was the previous section? This is also quite spread, right?
Yeah, pretty mixed. And that's interesting. 75.5% have programming experience, which is actually good.
So there's 69 people out of the 120 people who responded, like who took the survey. That's quite interesting.
Usually on
Then the
time.
usually on time question. Most of the time, just like we mentioned. And do you have pets? Guess they're all good to show, right?
There's nothing.
I mean,
well, there are things that are not legal, but they're safe for work. For example, like significant other or human roommates.
do you have pet? Tarantula. Now. Pet rock. And then how did you hear?
Yeah, fun.
Okay.
Alright.
Then let's go look at somebody's responses. Do you wanna pick someone and just send me the email on Discord, and then I can
Let's
open it here?
start in a chronological.
I mean,
I'll send you the first email.
so if possible, from people who are actually on the stream.
Okay. I'm just checking. Yeah, I got your email. I'm just looking if someone of the people who sent them.
Let's turn this around.
That's
If
difficult
you
because yeah.
if you send us your email, and you want us to look at it, just say here in chat, and then we can look up if we have your email address, right?
Yeah, and that's write your Discord name or something like that because yeah. Your
Hazer King,
Discord name doesn't match the Twitch names.
you didn't apply for the closed alpha? I mean, the survey just closed on Monday, so there was a lot of time actually to apply to it.
Who did not apply for the alpha?
Taser King, he wrote, I missed the last stream and my window to take the test. But don't worry, later on, you'll be able to join once it goes into open alpha. So
Well, you can simply do it in a chronological order because the people who are send us their emails can watch the recording afterwards. Let's start with this one.
okay, give me a moment.
I'll send you all the emails in the correct order.
Okay. And let's look at Jeremy's last, because I think his one will take the most time.
Okay.
God, I need to find that one. Finding like a single response is quite difficult. Do you have the first one open?
Yes.
Where do I find it? Is it more in the middle?
109.
Sorry?
109.
They don't have numbers here. Oh, wait, I can actually type in 109. Okay. Perfect. Let's skip that part and show it. Should we say who this is, or we just show it?
Well, actually, it's difficult. I can say the Discord name. The Discord name of that person is Captain Galaxy. So
Okay.
if any of you is named Captain Galaxy in Discord, that's your survey or your application.
See, Sabotorian already made a comment about your Pro Micro.
Yep.
It's the best setup.
Well, actually, you're not supposed to wear the microphone like I'm wearing it right now. And yeah, this microphone is almost 12 years or 13 years. Oh, wait a second, 15 years old.
It's more
So
more a fashion item than anything else.
Yep.
He runs around like that, just with his headphones like that. Okay. You want to do it that way? I read the questions and you read the answers, and then, you know, we can maybe talk
well,
a
you could
little bit
just
about it.
just go through them together. So Captain
Why
Galaxy.
do you want to participate in a closed alpha? So this is one of the person or the people that said, I'm a professional tester. I mean, not much to say about that, right?
Well, we can check if he's being serious or if that was a creative answer.
C. Which potion do you have to use in order to stun and poison Cubo's hellish minions in the Forest of Spirits during the third chapter of the second book?
Antimatter potion brewed by trapped imps. Well, that's correct. Antimatter potion. Well, actually, if you throw an antimatter potion brewed by trapped imps at them, they're most likely going to explode and destroy a quarter of the planet. So it's most likely not a good idea.
But it's the Forest of Spirits, so I guess you could do it there.
Yeah, that the magical barriers are going to stop the explosion from spreading, so yeah, we have destroyed the forests.
I mean, you said all the spirits free, but otherwise, you also get rid of the hellish minions, so it's a legit answer.
Get rid of them. Yeah, but are they really stunned or poisoned?
That's true. The question was, what do you have to do in order to stun and poison them?
Let's rate it 5 out of 7. That was a perfect answer.
Should we actually do a rating like 1 to 5? If you have to rate it 1 out of 5, what would you give this answer?
That's difficult. I can only rate on a scale of 1 to 7.
Let's do 1 to 7 then.
Yeah, well, just as I said, the perfect answer, 5 out of 7.
Okay. If some cats are big and some big things are hungry, does it imply that some cats are hungry?
Some cats are big and some cats... cats are alive. Alive things become hungry over time. Some cats are hungry. So basically a realistic answer. Cats are alive, all things. Yeah.
Alive things become hungry over time?
From a logical point of view, it's not correct, but from a practical point of view, it's correct.
So
it's the question if a realistic point of view is technically correct or not. Because logically, the answer is not correct, but practically, it is correct.
Cats can be dead too, is the comment from chat. I mean, that is true.
That means just some cats are not hungry, because the ones that are dead.
Okay. So what would you rate this? 1 out of 7. 1 to
Let's rate
1 to 7.
It's difficult because there's no middle rating. Let's rate it 4 out of 7.
Okay. Next question. If you're granted one superpower of your choice, which would it be?
One of the triple T powers: telekinesis, teleportation, telepathy. I would personally choose telepathy because that one's the most powerful and fun things to use. Well, would be interesting why. Yeah, how you're going to use this, because actually, are there any good things you can do by using telepathy? Well, you could know what someone else wants for, I don't know, Christmas or birthday. When you ask them what would you like, and they say surprise me, they're most likely going to think about.
Can you rephrase the question, because he said, can you do anything good with it, right?
Can you do anything?
What did you say just a minute ago?
So, if you could do anything that does not harm or exploits other people.
I mean, I guess it's what you just described, yes. I mean, there will be one option. Telepathy is one of the best. What are the limits of telepathy? Can you make a person schizophrenic?
Yeah, but that's a good point. Is the limit of telepathy just to read another person's mind or change their thoughts or intersect or I don't know, modify their thoughts or anything.
Good point. Let's skip ahead, and I guess we'll discuss this anyways more when we look at the other answers.
Yeah, let's rate this 6 out of 7
Yeah, the
because
rating. I was pretty
three
good.
powers.
I mean, he said 3 powers, but then he chose 1, so that's okay. I would also rate it.
Let's rate the next question just 1 out of 7 because the question is too easy.
Let's rate it Sun out of 7.
Sun out of 7.
Which 3 people, either friends or family, not including strangers, are the most important humans in your life?
My younger sister, my in real life best friend, and my best online friend. Interesting. So
yes. Come on,
basically,
rate it.
someone really likes their siblings or their sibling, because actually, my sister wouldn't even be on that list. I know that's nah.
That's a good point. Who would you put on that list?
Actually, she would be on the list, but at the last position.
So they have a ranking on your list. They have a ranking. First, second, third.
I would actually put my 2 cats on first and second place, and yeah, then maybe my sister. That's actually quite difficult because I actually don't really know how I would answer this question.
Yeah, good thing you didn't take the test.
Yeah, I'm happy that I didn't have to.
But what would you rate this? I mean, that's a good answer. I mean, very friendly, very.
At least 6 out of 7, if not then 7 out of 7.
But we need to leave room, right, to improve.
Okay.
So 6 out of 7.
6 out of 7. If offered for free, would you replace your real biological arm with a synthetic one? No. Okay, we already read through that. Yes, I would, because stuff like synthetic limbs is very cool to me because it's one step towards cyberpunk society. Actually, yeah, it would be cool, but there's enough. There's going to be, yeah. Sabotoyan's answer, or Jeremy's answer is going to be quite interesting regarding this.
Do you want to talk about this later, or?
Yeah, we're going to talk about this once we get to his application because he has a good point.
But a lot of people actually, I think about actually, if I think about it, from what I've seen, it was it was 50-50. Some people say yes for different reasons, but they say yes, and others say no. And I think in total it was like 50-50 of people saying yes and no.
Of the yes and no answers.
Yes.
Because there are still other answers. Yeah.
What would be your favorite pet, including fantasy and mythical creatures?
We didn't rate the previous question.
Oh. Okay, let's go back and rate it. But what do we rate this? Do we rate this on creativity or do we rate this on?
It's
how much
difficult.
sense
Actually, we have to. Let's assume the questions are 100% serious, and yeah, the question and the answers are 100% serious.
Yeah, but the thing is, what do we rate it on? We could also rate it for fun factor. You know what I mean? So we need a criteria for what are we rating it on.
Let's make a mix between creativity and how serious the answer is.
Okay.
So if a creative answer that is perfectly realistic or makes sense in the context of the question would get a 7 out of 7.
Then I would give this 3 or 4 out of 7. I would say.
Good, because one step towards cyberpunk. Yeah, actually, yeah, enhancing your body with mechanical parts is actually could be a good thing once we get there. But yeah, let's wait until the last application before we go into details. But yeah,
I like the comment Taser King made. Imagine leaving your arm on the charger. Rush to work, then forget your arm. Seriously, when 4 times 7 is not within the range for the later one. Okay, we were
Let's
like,
say
what's your
the answer is 50% correct. You should have chosen 2 and 8.
Yeah, but we skipped the favorite pet.
Oh, oops. Favorite, a phoenix, because it will always be with me and rise from the ashes. Yeah, that's a pet that would survive you.
I mean, I would give this a 7 out of 7. It's creative and true, and it makes sense. I want a phoenix now.
The question is, do you have to feed a phoenix? Because if it
Well,
dies, it becomes ashes and then it's being reborn.
I mean,
So
that's more a different kind of question, right? It's more an ethical question. Because you can leave it, you can let it live by itself. Like, you can say, okay, don't feed it, it dies, it anyways lives again. It's more an ethical question.
yeah, and Taser King mentioned something important. Fire is a bit of a hazard.
No, fired.
You
We're
have
Fire
to
Sword Studios.
build a
We know.
special, special cage for the phoenix.
Plus, it doesn't say that it's a fire phoenix. It could be a different kind of phoenix.
What different kind of phoenix?
There are ice phoenixes, for example.
Okay.
Since this is not a real pet, it doesn't exist in real life. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be on fire or breathe fire or whatever.
But actually, I wouldn't call it a phoenix if it was an ice phoenix. Because I'm just googling phoenix and there's only one phoenix and it's a blue phoenix. And yeah, it looks like it's even hotter than a normal phoenix.
Lovely dripping water on my rug from my sea phoenix. Exactly.
Yeah, let's rate this 7 out of 7.
Yes. On a scale of 0 to 10, how much is 4 times 7? I mean, yes. Like you said,
It's
the answer.
pretty close to yes.
We can only rate this question how close it is to the most answered answers, right?
Let's say a 5 out of 7.
So
Because 0 and 10 are the most answered, so let's
5.
rate this a 5 out of
Yeah.
7.
I guess that's good. Okay.
Anivia.
How difficult was the previous section? It was a nightmare. Okay, I can see that. Apart from being a tester, this person also has programming experience. Are you usually on time? Yeah, most of the time.
I just
Again.
googled Anivia, the League of Legends character. Yep. That's a nice phoenix. A cryo phoenix.
We'll see. Told you. I think the rest is pretty standard. Oh, this is a person that said Reddit. Who was it? Captain something, right?
Yep. Captain Galaxy.
But I think he's not in chat, sadly. Because I
He's
would
online
like
in
to know.
Discord.
Would like to know. I might write to him and ask how he found it on Reddit. Because I'm genuinely interested in that. Me.
Maybe because of the blog.
Maybe, but how do you find that again? Like I said, the Reddit page itself was kind of dead. Died out before I started posting the dev blogs.
Should I send you the second number?
If you have it.
53.
This
So
is a student.
this was Sync BR.
And it's not a professional tester this time.
That's the name of.
BR. Are you on stream? Are you here? Probably not. Okay. This person has a lot of free time. But then again, student. Which potion do you have to use in order to stun and poison Cuba's hellish minion in the Forest of Spirits during the third chapter of the second book? I don't know.
Oh, seems like he didn't study it. So.
Oh, that's.
Well, we have to deduct a few points for that.
I mean, but the person is still studying, so they haven't read the book yet, probably.
Yeah. Let's give it a 2 out of 7 because it was
Yeah.
an honest answer.
Point for honesty. It's always a good point. If some cats are big and some big things are hungry, does that imply
Should
that
we
some cats are
put
hungry?
the person's name at the top of the screen for this everything? Did you read the chat?
Um,
Point, but it's not that easy at the moment. Setup.
I don't know if we should do that. I mean, we anyway say at the beginning who it is. So if that's you, you know. If it's not, just enjoy the answers that the person gave. And the Sync BR said, this means that only some of the big cats are hungry. And I think you're actually watching, right? Wasn't he one of... I don't
Sure,
see.
he's not online in Discord.
I don't see him. Okay. So what would you rate this answer?
It's quite difficult because from a logical point of view, the answer is not correct. And from a practical point of view, it doesn't look like that the answer comes from a realistic perspective. Because if you answer it from a realistic perspective, then it would mean all big cats are hungry. So
what you're saying is this answer is not correct?
not from a logical point of view.
So what
Actually, did we explain this in the beginning?
Sorry?
Did we actually explain in the beginning why the answer would be no? Because people
no.
who answer this question logically know why the answer is no, but maybe a few people were confused because it sounds logical that some big cats are hungry. Because the explanation is actually quite simple. That if some cats are big and some big things are hungry, that just means that some of the big things are hungry, but these big things don't have to be the cats. If you replace cats with, for example, stones, and hungry with heavy, then if some stones are big and some big things are heavy, it doesn't imply that some stones are heavy. Because the part of the heavy things don't have to be the stones.
Okay. So let's rate this. It's a more weak answer, right?
Mm.
So let's give this a... What would you say?
Difficult. Let's... I think you should do the rating this time.
Okay, then we'll give it a 3 out of 7.
Okay.
If you're granted a superpower of your choice, which would it be? Time travel, so you can play the perfect tower too. 7 out of 7. Next question.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Time travel. It's
time travel into the future. Actually, that's something that's possible. You just need to be very close to a black hole or anything else with a very high gravity, or you just have to be as fast as light or close to the speed of light.
still, it's a good superpower. Maybe nah. Depends. If you go from it from a like realistic point of view, then if you can only travel to the future, I think it wouldn't be too great. Because you wanna go forth and back, and that's just not possible. So
Yeah, and actually, it's kind of a power you could only use for yourself, because obviously, if you travel back in time, only the how would you call it, the multiverse theory. For example, if you go back your timeline, you're immediately creating a second timeline with the consequences of your actions you take by traveling back. So you could actually never return to your first timeline. Not like in Steins Gate, or I don't know if there's... No, I haven't seen any other animes with time travel in their major plot.
like we're going to black hole or speed of light, as in time travel. Yeah, that's easy.
I just said it's possible, not that it's easy. Maybe I said it's easy, but I didn't mean that. Maybe
Okay. This is 7 out of 7 just because the person wants to play the perfect tower and want to use that ability to do don't have to wait. So 7 out of 7.
Actually, we could copy the source code of Perfect Tower, then travel back in time, then paste it, and then we could develop it faster. So actually we could use it as well.
In theory, yes. Anyways, Sun, classic answer. Nothing wrong with it. Which three people are most important humans in your life? I guess the first two are names that don't mean anything to us. But the Perfect Tower.
Just looking if that's
What are you
Callum
looking
Cohen.
for? Just
Yeah,
names.
found a Twitter account.
Were you searching on Twitter for Calum?
Yeah, I just typed it in Will if it's a reference for something. Or there is one person with such a name, but it could be a coincidence.
Yeah. Anyways, it's two names. It's okay, but the Perfect Tower. That's not a human. It would be a weird name for a person. Don't call your kids the Perfect Tower. It's weird.
It's not a good idea because later in school
They will get beaten or something. Who knows? The other kids would put it to a test if it's actually your kid is the Perfect Tower. So don't do it. So since
who's wearing a pink shirt? It's the perfect
1/3 of the question is not right, I guess we have to deduct some points. So what do you say? Is this a 4 out of 7? 5 out of 7?
If the previous one was a, I don't know, what did we,
Well,
how high did we rate the previous answer?
Jeremy asked, what's wrong with a tower that is perfect being important to you? Well, we asked the most important humans in your life. You say that the perfect tower is a human? You've never seen a human tower with someone? I mean, if you put it like that.
Just looking at the Discord chat.
My son's name is the Perfect Tower.
Well, as long as you don't call your kid ABCD, everything should be fine. Because actually that was a thing that someone called their kid ABCDE. It's I don't know. If you pronounce it, it sounds like ABCD or somewhat like that, which is kind of weird because imagine, I don't know, making a driver's license and you have to fill out your name and yeah. I don't know if your driver's license has ABCDE written on it. Let's make it 3.5 out of 7.
Okay, that sounds fair.
Okay.
You want to go back actually to time travel, or should we discuss this later? Because Sheikha made a good point, or like something that's worth discussing on Twitch chat.
I think we should get back to it a bit later. Let's do all the answers first, everyone, and then we discuss the things in detail.
Okay, if out of 3, would you replace your real biological arm with a synthetic one? Of course. It's not a wrong answer, but in terms of points, there's no explanation, so it's kind of weak.
Actually, the explanation was just requested in the case you don't want it.
That's
so
true.
Actually, technically speaking, the question is answered correctly.
Well then, let's make it 7 out of 7.
Yeah.
What be your favorite pet? A space hopper.
Actually, I'll just Google it for a second. I don't know what a space hopper is.
What the hell is a space hopper?
Oh. This, I don't know how to describe this. It's one of these I don't know, rubber balls you can inflate, and then you can sit on them and hop on them. with I don't know, how do you call it? Handles. So 2 sticks which serve as handle.
Okay.
As a handle.
You didn't have a
Did you
childhood
Google it?
if you don't know what a space hopper is. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't know the English term for it, so.
Yeah. I didn't know the English term for it too. I don't even know what's called in German. I don't know. It's. I have no
That's
idea what
true.
this thing is called in German. Check out what's this. Yeah, it is a German keyboard. Oh, in German it's just called Hüpfbar.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I would have gone for. Anyways, on a scale of
So basically, just a second. The
yes,
person wants a living space hopper. Isn't that kind of creepy? This thing hops around in your
mean,
garden or something like that.
it depends what it has drawn on it, right? Because some have faces, some have just some logos. So
Actually,
not
without
too
a face,
creepy.
it would be even more creepy. That's
That's
Slender Space Hopper.
that's what I'm saying. If it's not too creepy, I guess it would be fine, right? And then you could sit on it, go out with your
Sit
pet.
on- sit on your bed.
You could ride your pet to school, to work.
Uh-huh.
It's great, actually.
That's a clear 7 out of 7.
It doesn't die, so. And a 6 out of 7. The previous part was easy. The person has programming experience, is always on time.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Has a dog?
Has a dog.
Well,
and again,
he's not in the
Reddit.
chat, is he?
No. Again, not on chat. Not in chat.
Well, Taser King made a point about the space hopper. You have to feed it air,
Huh.
but you might have to feed it air.
Yeah. Guess if it runs low on air, you have to feed it air. It's a good point. So it can die, can inflate and then be gone forever. Do you have the next number for me?
Yes, I just checking. Yeah, it's the next one. 29.
And who is that on Discord?
Sismile. Cicmile. Sismile. I'll send you the name.
Again, not on Discord, not on Twitch right now, right? Doesn't seem like it. Okay, anyways, this person is a student again and has a lot of free time. Which potion do you have to use in order to stun and poison QS hellish minions in the Forest of Spirits during the third chapter of the second book? The stun or poison potion? I mean, it's true. It's not very creative, and since we said we're gonna rate this on creativity as well.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yes.
The stun or poison potion. Actually, if you stun and poison them, you have to use both of them, or?
Maybe it's called the stun or poison potion, and it actually is a random effect. It either stuns them or poisons them, and then, you know, depending on how many you throw, it will be right.
So maybe the stun or potion poison in.
I mean,
Okay,
since
I get it.
stun and poison is both capitalized, I would say like this is the name of the potion. So let's just go with that. It either stuns or poisons when you throw it or when you use it.
Yeah.
So creativity, we just brought some in, so I would say
let's make it a perfect 5 out of 7.
yes, a perfect 5 out of 7. And the answer is cats are always hungry. No explanation needed. Lol.
Definitely from a realistic point of view, cats are definitely always hungry. Well, I guess if I wouldn't stop feeding my 2 cats, they would literally explode. I think
Who
you can
knows
do
what
it
would
purpose.
happen. But right now they're heavy as stones, so yeah, you can mix up the questions. What would you rate that question? Hello, crazy cat 124. Are you also always hungry, crazy cat? 11 out of 7. That's chat. I think Matthias crashed. Go on. I'm still here. Hmm. I guess I'll just go to the break screen for a moment and start the call again. So just 1 second. Okay, I think we're back. Working?
Yeah. Seems
yes,
working.
working.
Discord somehow, yeah. The conversation crashed.
Hmm. Okay, we didn't rate this, right? It was just an 11 out of 7 in chat.
Yep. What would you rate it?
You do the rating now.
Why do I have to do rating? I read more things to do. Okay, let's say since this person definitely knows a lot about cats, I'd rate it 7 out of 7.
Okay. Turn one superpower of your choice. What would it be? Invisibility or flying? I mean, it's not technically no one, but invisibility.
Okay, let's talk about invisibility or flying counts as optional.
Okay.
Okay, invisibility. It's the question: how is invisibility going to work? Because imagine your eyeballs being invisible. It means your light has to pass through your eyeballs. So you would actually be blind if you're invisible, or otherwise, the photons that pass through your eyes either get absorbed or, yeah, you would have to have that type of invisibility that creates a copy of the photons that reach you and throw them. I don't know. Throw is the correct word. But
Actually, I scrolled
propel
up
them
in chat to
behind you.
see what was said about invisibility before, and someone said invisibility is the best superpower because you are able to watch people showering, and then someone immediately replied with invisibility is practically impossible because of light.
Yeah.
So guess we got that covered already.
Okay, didn't see
In
that.
theory, for invisibility to work, you have to reflect light from all ways but your eyes. What if invisibility is just having a cloak that perfectly reflects light, but can also contain light and just reflects perfectly with the power itself, emitting light from the body?
Yep, that's what I meant. If you would create a copy of all the photons that we receive, that you, I don't know, absorb, and then produce a copy of them, and I don't know what to do with the photons. Do you throw them or do you propel them, or I don't know. If you release them at the opposite side where they entered, then you should actually be practical invisible. That's isn't that actually how that realistic, I don't know, there is this cloak of invisibility that turns you invisible on videos. I don't know what's it called. I think that was a Kickstarter project or something like that a few years ago. It was some kind of a, I don't know. It looked like some kind of like a blanket that you could put over your head, and if someone filmed you with a specific camera, then you were invisible on it because it's somehow tracked where the camera was watching you, and then I don't know actually how it worked. But on the video you were almost invisible. You could still see certain shades, but most of you was just like you could see through your body.
Let's see if I can find it on YouTube.
Oh, someone posted a link.
Was there a link?
The
Indigo.
cloak of invisibility.
Go. Let's see if we can weird.
Okay. I don't know from the trailer. Is this a serious project or?
Hello, Captain Galaxy. You're late to the party.
Oh, I'm supposed to. I think I'll drag this over here. So.
Let's just go like this.
Hey, I'm here today to show you our latest invention. I had this dream when I was a child, and I believe every child in the entire world has the same dream: to become invisible. So I've been working for years with my team and some partners to develop a prototype.
The cloak of invisibility.
I'd say that one of the greatest benefits of the cloak of invisibility for children is its low production cost. While other products rely on expensive technologies and hard to produce paints, our cloak
Actually, skip ahead.
is
I want
made
to see the
primarily
invisibility.
of synthetic material. It allows air to flow, like not working in certain lighting conditions. Distance can also be a problem.
Basically, invisible, even to people who makes
That's what it
Also
sounds,
be
right?
a problem.
Basically, our cloak makes children invisible, even to people who are right next to them.
The big insight into the cloak of invisibility didn't come to us in the laboratory. In fact, it came to us when we went out into the
Actually,
streets.
there's a cool trick
That
in
was when we
Photoshop.
really,
If you want to take
really
a
understood
picture of,
our product.
I don't know,
We wanted
a
to
statue
develop
or
a 100%
any other
efficient product.
public place,
We tested
and
our cloak
there are a
in
lot of
busy
people around, you
places,
want to
and the results
photograph
were
just the thing
exactly
without the
the
people
ones
around
we
it. You
expected.
just take one
The
picture
children went completely
at a specific interval, for example,
unnoticed.
every 5 seconds. And you have to make sure that every part of the image is at least 3 or 4 times empty, with no people. And then just put all of them in Photoshop in different layers, and then choose the median option, not the difference or average values, and it merges them all to one picture without the people on them.
They shouldn't. I'm fairly sure it doesn't show it.
Yeah.
Yes, it wasn't shown.
I thought the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say invisibility. Actually, if it worked the way you would imagine it, then it would actually be a great superpower. Depends on if you can turn it on and off. I mean, if you're permanently invisible, I think that it's kind of. I think that's actually. Yeah.
Welcome back.
That would-
Yeah, it was a twist at the end. And Shaik said it was actually a project to raise money, not to launch it.
Mm.
Okay, let's keep going. Which of the phones is the biggest? Son again. Which 3 people, mother, father, and Perosis? I have siblings, brother, and sister.
So 4 people.
Okay. I guess that's an easy 7 out of 7, right?
Well, he chose 4 instead of 3 people, but
I mean, he mixed 2 people into one. He was just explaining the word, basically, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's legit.
maybe he's a Full Metal Alchemist.
4 people for rating.
Okay, let's say 7 out of 7.
7 out of 7. Yes, I definitely would.
So
Again.
technically correct, so best
Okay.
kind of correct.
Gotta give it 7 out of 7 again. Ooh. What would be your favorite pet? A miniature dragon that never grows.
That reminds me of the dragons in the Harry Potter movie, or in the books. They had to pull out for the I don't know what it's called in English. The Tri Magic tournament. I don't know.
Okay, I know what you mean.
Yeah, they had to pull out the dragons they had to face, and miniature
Yeah,
dragon
but
that never goes.
a
Yeah.
miniature dragon, I mean, I guess it would be cool to look at, but then again, you could again say it's a fire hazard, right? What do you feed the dragon? Dragons usually, like from stories, eat meat and only meat. So it would be like having a big cat that
Yeah,
you have to feed
but
and
depends on how small a miniature dragon is.
uh,
Is it like a cat or smaller or bigger? For example, if it's
I
I don't know,
guess
as
so.
small as a calculator, then you could easily feed it. I don't know.
Well, if it's too big, it will eat your cat, so don't do it.
Actually, that's a good point. It didn't say what type of dragon. A fairy dragon.
True.
Fairy dragons are
Fairy.
playful and don't cost that much maintenance. Well, I don't know what fairy dragons eat. Don't they eat mana or something like that?
Fairy dragons. Oh,
If
high
I had a dragon,
maintenance.
I'd feed it cats. Hmm.
Well,
So
if your
what would
parents
you
are
rate it?
calling you, then you should probably obey and help them. You can always watch the recap of the stream. Goodbye. Blue dragon is a real life dragon. It's a blue slug.
Yep, I know fairy dragons from Warcraft.
You the
Bearded
dragon.
Bearded.
Okay.
What would you rate?
Dragons are would be my favorite pet, so I rate this 7 out of 7.
Okay. Ooh, the next question is also 7 out of 7.
Again, 7 out of 7.
Perfect answer.
This is like the perfect survey, right?
Mm,
It was easy for them, no programming
definitely.
experience. Most of the time, you have pets, dogs,
Mhm.
and from Congregate. I think this is a pretty legit and honest submission, right?
Mhm.
Deserves a 7 out of 7.
Mhm.
Let me bring up the next one.
Okay, the next one is actually already from how is it called? Uh, Shaitza.
Shaika, however you pronounce your name.
Oh, it's actually number 2.
Yeah, I knew that. Just
Shay.
bragging on stream. He's here, so we can roast him now. He's also a student and actually studying interesting things. So
Yeah. Whoa.
could you both fill it out too and look at it? Maybe we'll do it afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take some time on the stream.
Why do you want to participate in the closed alpha? Do you want to read it or should I?
You can read it.
Okay. I have played The Perfect Tower as long as I can remember. Alongside the fact it's probably my favorite incremental idle game, I really want to see The Perfect Tower 2 open up a new area in the genre. I've been active on Discord since I discovered it, and I will happily write up and document my experience. As well as this, I attempt to work on games in my own time, though I feel like I can approach the alpha from the point of a fan and a development point of view. I mean, this is an honest answer, and straight up says that he's a fan, that he wants, you know, to help, and he's actually starting to develop games. So again, this is like someone who will probably realize how hard some things are and how long they take to implement. Plus, I was talking with him on Discord a lot, and I know that he's just recently started out with Unity, and I would like to see the progress on the game he's making. But this straight off the bat is like 7 out of 7.
Mm,
It's
definitely.
it's a good reason why you want to participate. Um, and Jeremy just said, "I'm glad I'm not the only one that writes a lot." You give it a 6.9 out of 7. Now you have to say why.
He wants to save up the 7 out of 7 for himself, I guess. Yeah, great answer.
Which potion do you have to use in order to stun and poison Cubo's hellish minions?
Hmm. Honestly, nobody. Although I will find out. So actually, you're waiting for Perfect Tower 3. Or will there be a Forest of Spirits in Perfect Tower 2?
You mean the Perfect Tower 2 Chapter 2? Actually, Chapter 3.
Episode 1, Episode 2.
Yeah.
The Perfect Tower 2 episode. Perfect Tower 2 Chapter 1. Perfect Tower 2 Chapter 2.
And Jeremy just told us he deducted the 0.1 points because Shai is from the UK. That's just, yeah, you know, not okay. Honestly, no idea, although I will find out. I mean, it's an honest answer again.
Just another perfect 5 out of 7, or?
Yeah. Not really creative answer, but honest. So 5 out of 7. If some cats are big and some big things are hungry, does it imply some cats are hungry? Of course, there's always going to be someone or something hungry. Implications are a way of judging something without knowing for certain that this. I feel it is not viable to assume someone is hungry because it is big. Also, the project manager cat is tiny. Let me just first address the last part. She's not that tiny anymore. She's like a big cat. She's like, wait, where's the camera? Like this big right now, and she's still a baby. She's like 14 weeks old now.
This just reminded me of. What was it? I'm stronger than an ant. If an ant was this big.
um,
File systems are assigned because it's big. So another answer from the practical or realistic point of view.
I mean, it also says it's not viable to assume someone is hungry because it is big. So.
Interesting answer.
I think it's a good answer. So how would you rate it?
It's quite difficult.
Let's do a 6 out of 7. Let's give it some room.
Okay, let's leave some room for 6 out of 7 is okay.
And his superpower would be mind reading.
Flight is fun, but would be too
Too many.
You would have to wear some kind of face protection, or something like if you've seen the movie what was it called, Chronicle, or something like Chronicle, the one where the people learned telekinesis because they found a meteor or something like that. The movie which was filmed in a found footage way.
Can you explain what happened in the movie? They found a meteor and they gained superpowers from it?
Yeah, they I don't know, somehow gained telekinesis power, so they were able to lift small objects, and then they learned that they could train their ability and were able to lift heavier things. And it was filmed from a very very realistic perspective because they used their power. In the beginning, they used to do a lot of, I don't know, pranks on other people, something like that. For example, there's a very funny scene where they went to a supermarket and moved shopping carts around and something like that, because they just wanted to scare people or something like that. And there's also a scene where they scare a little kid with a plush bear. And yeah, and later on they noticed that their abilities become dangerous because they at one point they push another car off the street while driving, and notice that their abilities are dangerous. And one of the characters also becomes, turns somehow. Don't want to say evil, rather, let's say his private surroundings let him fall into depression and let him do things that are someone would consider evil. And there's a scene where they were learned how to fly because they just lifted themselves, and they just wrapped themselves, with jackets and a helmet and something like that, so that their face is protected. Because when you fly really high up, it's also pretty cold. So yeah. Next time I'll see you. Yeah. Spoiler warning. And the movie, I think it's
It's a
called
late
Chronicle.
spoiler alert.
Spoiler, not in advance, but rather. Yeah, the film is just called Chronicle.
Okay.
Just looked it up. I think
But his power would be mind reading.
so. Mind reading.
Again, the question: can you use it for something good?
Mind reading. Actually, why would it make that a difference? Because superpower is a superpower. If you use it to do evil things, you use it to do evil things.
Which is your question from before in the first form, I think. Okay,
Yeah,
but what would you rate mind reading?
It's difficult. For example, if I had the choice to choose any superpower that's not omnipotence or something like that, I would probably not choose mind reading, because actually I don't know what I would use it for. I mean, for example, if we limit the ability that you can read the mind of people which are close to you and which you can see, so not, for example, via webcam or via phone or something like that, then actually I don't know any practical, or there are a few uses for that, but
A just said, well, in a
yeah.
quiet sociopathic point of view, you can use it to manipulate people's emotions to gain, or say you're going for a job interview. You can tell how it's going and see if you need to change, etc.
Yeah, that's, well, actually you can do this in real life, not with 100% accuracy, but it's something you can actually practice. And
I mean, there's what is it called? It's also like mentalists do this a lot, where they do mind reading. So it is something that you can do in real life. Of course, it's a bit different.
yeah, your predictability of other people increases quite a lot, so you know what they're going to do, because they obviously have to think about something before they're doing it. Yeah, just like Sabo wrote it. Yeah, so
Okay.
what would you rate it?
Let's say it's a perfect 5 out of 7.
Okay.
Then again, Sun. What three people?
Demons in life.
My parents and my dogs. They're 2 dogs, but you never lock me down to one. In terms of humans, my auntie. I mean, we've seen your dogs. They're cute. Like I said, I prefer cats, but your dogs are cute and they look fluffy, and I get what you like your dogs.
So from a technical point of view, it was answered correctly because you listed 3 humans. And from a creative point of view, I would say, obviously, pets are usually, yeah. I don't want to comment that because it sounds quite, yeah, misanthropic.
Okay. Let's just say it's a 7 out of 7.
Yeah, I agree.
If offered for free, would you replace your real biological arm? Depends. If it was for research and I had clear scientific backing that would cause no harm nor extreme amount of pain, then yes. Otherwise, no. I think,
Seems like a serious answer.
yeah, I think that's legit.
Well thought through. So, this is another perfect 7 out of 7. A super perfect 7, I was.
I would probably go for like something similar, where it's like, yes, I would do it, but not necessarily if I know it's like a lot of pain to go through it. But
Yep.
I guess it depends on the situation though.
Mhm.
Because
Well, actually, he indirectly explained why not. Because he said it depends. He said why he would do it. And if the conditions were not met, then it would be a no. And that's the explanation for the no.
True.
So, well, he explained it in an inverse way.
But this is to assume that your real biological arm is like good. What if your arm would be partially cut off or like broken or you can't use it anymore? Would you then go for it? Since you're in chat, you could answer this. I don't know if he's writing, but he's still here.
Uh-huh.
Um,
What would be your favorite pet?
I zoned out. But would you give the same answer if, for example, your arm is not usable anymore because you got into an accident and now it's unrepairable damaged? Who's looking up huskies? Pomskis. Look it up.
Husky X Pomer. Oh. Mm. Do they stay this small or?
Cutest thing. They look like little toys.
Hmm.
Get a little bigger, but nowhere near as big as a husky. See, this could be mistaken with a cat.
Mm.
I get why you why this would be your favorite pet. We still need to rate the answer though. I think it was a 7 out of 7 because
I think yeah, that's fair.
favorite
next one.
pet, I would also say 7 out of 7.
Yeah, it's okay. It's quite creative. I didn't even know that this kind of husky existed.
Exactly. Then the scaling is obviously a 6 out of 7. He found it medium difficulty. Yes, programming experience, as mentioned before. You are always on time. I mean, so far you've proven that, so
Yeah.
we know
True
about your
story.
dogs, and you actually told us the story about messaging us on Facebook in the chat before.
Mm.
Everything seems to be legit. Okay, and then we have one last response that we're looking at, right?
Mhm.
Was there anyone missing?
Yeah, of course.
Jeremy's.
Jeremy's response. Do you need his number or?
No, I have it open.
Okay.
I am to roast Jeremy, one who shall not be roasted. Why do you want to participate in a closed alpha? I never did an alpha thing before, and considering the Perfect Tower is the only game I have ever really made such detailed guides, manuals, forum posts about that playing the alpha would probably be an experience I should try. Again, we're looking for people that are aware that it's gonna be broken, it's not gonna stay that way, and it's just an alpha. Like, it will change, and you will lose your progress. If you're okay with testing all of this and like telling us what should be fixed, what's broken, what we can do better, then this is truly, I mean, this is fine. If you just want to do it for the experience, that's a bit, not really what we're looking for, but still a fair point. So far, it's a good reason, right? It's a good reasoning. Yeah. As far as ratings go, I would say this is a 7 out of 7 again.
Mm.
Any
And
comments you want
I have to add that if you're going to write guides during the alpha, be open to change them later on, because a lot of things are not going to stay the way they're going to stay. Because I'm not sure if I'm going to finish the headquarters next week, or if I'm starting to work on it, because the headquarters is one of the essential buildings for it's needed to start with the fast progression. And actually, I plan to work on that later because it's somehow connected to the end game. And yeah, without that building, you can't really start making strategies on how to progress faster. Because I don't know if we've spoiled. I guess we've said it in the last stream, but there's no such thing as wave compression anymore. There's a new thing called wave streaming, and yeah, the headquarters is connected to that feature.
Okay, so first of all, he said yes, but he likes the ability to see the process of the game over time, since he's never really been alpha testing before, and that's a fair point. Just seeing the process, and also, I guess you will stick around. And just from what we know, you always make, like, you think about what you're saying, and you give a detailed explanation to why you say certain things. So that's something that we're looking for. Yeah, like Matthias said, if you want to make guides, make them, but you'll probably have to change them as time goes on. If that's good for you, then it's good for us. We might actually, if you want, we haven't discussed this, but maybe you can help us out with the help screens so that they're more clear and really cover what certain buildings, for example, what they do. Because so far, everything that we've done was just quick, so that there's an explanation.
Yeah, but the goal is to make the game pretty self-explanatory. So if there is a way to explain something without using text or anything else, that's actually what we're going for, because we want to make the game as intuitive as possible. Because usually the best tutorials are the ones you don't notice.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, actually, I hate games which have this wall of text, actually, almost like Perfect Tower 1 had it. Because actually, no one likes to read through a lot of text.
Perfect Tower 1 was not very intuitive, also because it grew very big and had a lot of features that you actually need to know about. You just don't find them out.
Yeah, there was no direct unfolding. So basically, you had everything thrown into your face, and then you have to figure out how everything works.
It's not that we hate our
No,
own game.
I don't hate. I don't hate.
We want to learn from our mistakes, and that was clearly something that we can improve now.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a critic on your guides. It was just I want to save your time by saying that the game is going to change a lot. So don't spend too much time writing guides, because you will have to change them. So it was not a direct critic on either on the quality of your guides or on your guide or the content of your guides. Okay.
Which potion do you use in order to stun and poison cures hellish minions in the Forest of Spirits during the third chapter of the second book? Hellish implies demons with knowledge of hell, usually being fire, and how doom physical weapons can destroy demons. A combination of freezing to poison and a rock for physical stun would make sense. Not much to add there, I think.
Oh.
I'm thinking this through.
Do you possess the power of mind reading?
Combination of freezing, poison.
Actually, I'm just thinking, the Forest of Spirits. Is it possible to use ice spells in the Forest of Spirits? Well, I'm not sure.
I mean, he didn't say how he's freezing them.
Freezing to poison.
He's just freezing them, which is poison, which I understand, which makes sense. So I would say yes. Legit. It's very creative. It's exactly what we're looking for.
I would rather go for electricity to stun them, but yeah, rock is okay. But they're quite fast, so you will have to throw the rock pretty fast. And you know, electricity has like the speed of light, so yeah.
Rock is funny,
Yeah,
to be honest. Yeah.
definitely. I agree on that. But only if you hit them.
So again, for creativity. I mean, it's also funny if you don't hit them, but then you don't stun them. But yeah, I would say it's a 7 out of 7. The games you want entertainment value. Yep, totally agree. If some cats are big and some big things are hungry, does it imply that some cats are hungry? No, since even if all cats were big, only some big things are hungry, so cats should be the big things that are not hungry.
I think just having a potion with a giant rock in it. Rock potion. That's actually something you can create in real life.
Potion with a giant rock in it. I like it.
Potion of sun. Glass potion with a rock in it. Works even in real life.
Okay,
No, since even if all cats were big, only some big things are hungry, so cats would be the big things that are not hungry. Nothing to that. Perfect explanation for the logical answer to this question.
again, 7 out of 7. Oof, this is a long one. If you're granted one superpower of choice, which would it be?
I have this one idea in my head where I'm a tree with magical powers, able to sprout wings and fly faster than the speed of light, and summon light tentacles, able to turning into any light construct with a squid hand for severe grip, a beard with infinite storage space, and is able to smack people, and an innate ability to summon fire, water, ice, dust, and summon minions of either disco ant or box person variety. Now, this isn't the only form. I would be able to form into a giant walking fish creature, a metallic suit of armor with the power of a black hole times 10, and then just a normal human form. Of course, if this fantasy of mine is not doable, then the power of Wolverine, since he has powerful claws, dragon, and endurability. However, if even that is not allowed, due to him having multiple powers, then one singular power I want is the ability to turn the liquid of any living creature's ice fluid into glass.
The most creative answer we received, actually, from all the
And
ones
the
that I
longest.
read.
You should just have said you're a mental patient.
I see the word tree, so stop reading. You could just have said you're a mental patient.
Tree with magic powers. Well, are you able to...
Oh, it's actually a thing he's been thinking of for years. So there was a lot to take in here. So first he wants to be
Are you able to move on the ground while you're in a tree form?
Well, he's able to sprout wings, so yes.
Oh. Yeah, well, sprouting means he's able to fly. But if he is he able to move on the ground?
I mean, because it's a tree.
Summon light tentacles and turn into light constructions. Squid him for the grip. A beard with infinite storage space is able to smack people. I'm just imagining a tree with a beard. Tree beard. Looks like an ant.
Yeah, but
just summon.
He also goes into the proper question. One superpower, and his one superpower would be turn the liquid of any living creature's eye fluid into glass, which is very creative and also kind of terrifying. Why would you want that superpower? check random. Okay, we'll just take a look at Discord for a moment.
Oh.
Seems legit.
That would make sense.
Okay. Again, Jeremy, why would you want to turn any living creature's eye fluid into glass? There's something you want to tell us, because this is kind of frightening. Just to GG anyone. I mean, it's very creative. It's a good answer. Doesn't really leave a trace, it seems. I mean, if you're the only one who has the power, eventually people will know, and then not really you leave traces basically.
Actually, that would make the Dead Space 2 scene quite funny with the eye scene with the needle. If you just turn the eye into glass right before the needle hits.
And then you cut the glass with a very hot knife. Okay. Again, I would say this is a 7 out of 7. Right?
Yeah,
Reactions?
definitely.
Sun?
5 out of 7 because it's too long. Nah. Just kidding, 7 out of 7.
Made me read. Here's the famous answer: me, myself, and I. So
Since this
this
is
one
copyright
you
protected,
need to
it's
rate.
definitely just a 1 out of 7. No, just kidding.
You have a point. It's always the same person, right? So
No, I mean the song. What was it called? Yeah, it's just me, myself, and I.
we actually have a question from chat. What do you guys think of light as a power? And I think Taser King actually mentioned before light manipulation. You could fly, invisibility, time travel. Oh, was it related to it? I think so.
I guess it would look like the one admiral from One Piece. What was he called? Which was actually has the type of devil fruit that allows you to turn into light and to control light. Just looking what he's called. Borzolino? Borzolino? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Where he can move as fast as the speed of light and create laser beams or something like that. Yep, that's his name. Yeah, could be quite a powerful ability.
A giant mirror lens thing in a bucket can turn obsidian into lava or something. Do you have that video? I would like to see that.
Does this work in Minecraft too? Well, actually,
No.
it would require a mirror lens.
Minecraft is unrealistic. You can't do this. So what would you rate this? Me, myself, and I.
Since it's quite a common answer, I would say
Also, just 1 out of 3
3.
people.
Yeah,
I guess 3 is fair.
3 out of 7.
So no 7 out of 7 for everything. Would he replace his biological arm with a synthetic one? Most likely not, as having speed and strength is cool, but if I punch hard and I have my regular sensations, that would hurt a lot. Not only that, there is no equilibrium as only one arm is enhanced, which could cause all sorts of issues. Also, my back, spine, back muscles, torso, and core would struggle to keep up with the arm, since the core connects to everything. A core means a useless arm, even if synthetic. That's
I was actually waiting for an answer like that, because that's what I was thinking when I wrote the question. Because have you seen what's it called, My Hero Academia or something? What's it called? I don't know. I only watched. I didn't even watch the full first season, I think. But just to the point where the main character received the powers of the, I don't know what the hero is called. And yeah, the main character gains super strength, and his body is not ready for it. So every time he punches something, he breaks his bones and everything like that. So yeah, I was thinking of that when I wrote that. So if you're able to turn off your regular sensations, then yes, I might go for it. Well, it's a bit of a spoiler, but I guess if you wait for a month, you're going to forget it.
Hey, Matthias, Jeremy also has long blonde hair like you.
Yeah, I'm reading the chat.
I guess this is a
Blonde
perfect.
people think about things like that all the day. Yeah.
I guess the perfect 7 out of 7.
No, more than perfect, because 5 out of 7 is already perfect.
It's a supreme 7 out of 7. His favorite pet would be Talina, his bunny plushie. But alive and even bloodlusted. Not much to say about that.
Isn't that rather creepy? Did you send a picture with a knife?
Let's not talk about this. Just go ahead. Let's skip right.
You have to rate it.
Okay, what do we rate this? Let's let chat rate it.
Yeah, I think the chat should rate it, because everyone knows Talina.
Exactly. Everyone knows Talina, so chat, give us your rating. And while you rate, we're gonna go to the next one. The scale thing is like
12?
a 5 out of 7.
5 out of 7. 7, 6, 5, 4. 4 out of 7.
Or 4 out of 7, yes. He found it impossible
This
to
is a
do.
plot twist. 4 out of 7.
Do you have any programming experience? Yes. He's on time most of the time. He has a pet.
A plant?
A very uncommon pet.
Well, I've seen this plant multiple times. It's not that uncommon. I think it's just uncommon in.
I mean, in our region, it's uncommon.
Yeah, because even in German it's called dragon plant. If you literally translate it.
Yeah, I don't think you say that here though. Okay, so let's go back to the rating. We have 12,
Yeah, this is
1. Yes.
Let's take the average of all the answers. 12 plus 1 plus 12 minus
20,
1
24
plus 12.
divided by 4.
36 divided by 5.
What else are you taking?
7.2.
What's 12, 12, 12? I see.
Oh, no, wait, just a second. I did not see that it's the same person. 35 through 4. Okay, it's a 8.75.
It doesn't fit on a scale, so
Let's just divide it by 2 again. It's 4.25 out of 7.
so let's do 5 out of 7.
Okay.
So 5 out of 7.
A perfect 5 out of 7.
Perfect 5 out of 7. And that concludes it. That was the last one. It was very interesting.
Yeah, and I have to say all the what should we call it? All the applications we've read here are most likely yeah. I can't definitely say going to make it in the alpha, because the blocks are random, so I can't tell in which group who's going to land in which group. But yeah. What's happening? Oh, you're rearranging the stream. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, of all the applications we went through today, they're all going to land in the randomizer. So none of them are going to be sorted out or being marked for later, because actually that's the kind of answers we expected. We're not going to go through an example of. Well, actually, we could show off what the spam looks like, because that's not a real person.
No
Or
bias.
can we?
Do we?
Just looking, it's just checking if there's any kind of personal data, but no, it's just there. It is.
Can you tell me the number?
It's number 105. That's yeah, an example for something that gets sorted out and it's not going to make into the
Of this, because it's anyways probably not right.
yeah, because it looks fine over there. Then if you scroll down, still looks normal.
This is the first one that's unusual.
Okay, that's quite strange. No and no.
And I like to fill out Google Forms.
Yep.
The answers are just everywhere.
Same
Then
letter.
our moon, hi, no, no, never, everything, friends. Yes. Yes, I give that a 1 million out of 7.
Because the person cheated. That's why.
Exactly. Cheaters. Too high of a score. Like we know from Congregate, those scores get deleted, so this one gets deleted. Crazy Cat said we missed theirs. Crazy Cat, did you send us your email address?
Yeah, did you send me? Oh, what's your Discord name?
How many people will be on the randomizer? I think we didn't look for everything, so I would guess we have like around 100 or 110.
120 in total. Minus what? Minus the.
Yeah, like 110 that will probably get in the alpha, so they will go into the randomizer. Except if you're a Patreon, then you will definitely get in at the beginning.
Yeah, 120 minus 1 minus the Patreons. And minus the people who are definitely not going to like the alpha and usually are, yeah, the people who would be exposed to a lot of physical and psychical stress are sorted out just for, let's say, health reasons.
You missed it. You're going to go back. Okay, that's fine. So we didn't forget you. That's good.
Oh.
Very good. Is there anything you want to show off in game? Before we
well, I think the town asset, everyone has seen the town asset so far. It's not done yet. There still needs to be a feature to
place a few.
Yeah, to polish it, and you can rotate them as well. Yeah. Yeah, not all the assets from all regions are done, and there are definitely going to be more than 3 assets per region. And yeah, overall it needs a lot of polishing, and yeah. Not all the things even are marked as navigation obstacles, so the citizen cubes can run through them. But they already have collision, so you can't place them on top of each other. And yes, there is a curved rail, and yes, there will be the option to make rails connect, because at the moment the collider is a bit too big.
And you're not able to connect them. This is the closest you can get. And you can put a minecart on it.
Yeah, there will be more customization options once the headquarters will be added, because the headquarters is going to give you the ability to upgrade certain features of the game itself. So things like I don't know, shortcuts and other things. So basically things that make the game easier. Well, animation for town assets might be something for the future. It's even possible that town assets are not, might not be, or not might be a part of the, not might be a part of the web version, but probably might have a limitation for the web version because the save game gets pretty big because you have to store the rotation and the position of the object. And yeah, save games are already pretty big.
You might have the option to color your snowman, or like in general. This is one of the things that we might still add to the town assets.
Yeah, scaling and rotating them is definitely going to be possible. And there are also going to be options that remove the grid placement, so you can place them literally anywhere.
Right now, I don't know if you can see it. It always like kind of snaps.
At the moment, yeah. At the moment, there's one block basically between each object. You can try placing trees. Trees are, you can see it quite good when placing trees. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to show off?
How's the arcade going?
It's not done yet, so you can eventually make a maze for the cubes.
Actually, can you open the scene view from this? I don't know, from your window. Can I switch to scene?
What do you want to see?
Go to the inspector and open the navigation tab. And then scroll to the town. So there you can see basically the objects that already have are marked as nav mesh obstacles, and the cubes have to walk around them. So yeah, yes, you can build a maze for the cubes, and they're going to run around.
At the moment, you could do it with just trees or like rocks or something.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that the performance of the nav mesh is incredibly high. I actually expected it to lag when you place a lot of assets, but currently in my save game I have around 160 objects placed, and there's no impact on the frames at all. Only when placing them, it takes a bit longer to calculate one after another, but it's asynchronous in the background, so there is no, you don't notice it in game. There might be a chance that a cube might run through an object for just a second, but that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. So asset animations, stuff like that.
Do the arcade, right? Nothing changed, and this is the broken version with no text. So.
Oh, did you pull the latest version?
Yes, it's a different bug because of resolution.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the AI for the cubes is actually pretty stupid at the moment. It just doesn't do anything specific.
And yes, this is still the perfect tower. Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is.
Well, you can leave your feedback on that minigame in the arcade. So you'll have to directly send the feedback to Speedy Brain, not to Speedy, because yeah, that's actually one part of the game I have no influence on.
This is only the first of many games for the arcade, and it's still a work in progress. So right now,
Basically, the building is like Steam inside the game. So you're going to collect games there, and you can play them and unlock achievements and something like that that boosts the main game.
more or less, yes. And you also have a story you can unlock stuff for other buildings, maybe town assets, and also modules. Also, there will be some Easter eggs hidden in here, so things that you can only get in here. Hi, human pet. Imagine if
But
you
I
get
don't
a
know if
bouncing
Speed is
bullet.
going to add bouncing bullets, because I don't know. Would you like to explain the ship and captain system, or is this
No,
part of another video?
I'll do it in another stream when this is
Okay.
also done. Because right now the basics work. There's still the actual enemies missing. Right now they're just going by. Can damage you, but they're just going by. So I'll do all of that once it's actually done. And of course, there's a lot of upgrades. There's even some abilities. For example, we're not level 15 yet, but if we go to level 15, we can get multi-shot. Too crazy. Also, I didn't add any music yet, so if we actually enable the music, you just see the top music. Yeah, sorry, the music is a bit loud. I didn't change the settings. I'm very
Yeah,
sorry for that.
that's something that has been added that we can't even show on stream. That the audio is now grouped using Unity's built-in mixers. So I had to rescale how the volume thing works. Before it was just the percentage to which changes the audio source's volume, but now it's a value inside the mixing group which ranges from minus 80 decibel to plus 20 or something like that. And since audio volume is scaled logarithmically, I had to change how the slider works, because you could only use the upper 5% of the slider, and everything below that just made the game silent. But yeah, that's something you wouldn't see on this on the stream or even in game. You just noticed that your sound setting would be quite off a bit. But the advantage of that is we can now add environment sounds or something like that, and add a separate setting, volume setting for them, without influencing or without having, how should I say it? It's a lot easier to add new audio sources this way, because I don't have to rewrite the audio manager or something like that. So environment sounds, or even if we ever going to add, I don't know, some voiceovers or something like that, we could simply create a new category called voices and add a volume slider without changing much of the code.
When an idle game gets better environmental sound system than active games.
Yeah, well, I think environment sounds, yeah, could be a good thing, because imagine forest has some birds chirping around, chirping, or tweeting around. The desert has, I don't know, some wind effects.
When you hear your bullets ricochet off cubes.
Yeah.
And kind of.
Well, abilities and things like that are of course going to have sound.
Set this low, very low. Then if we go in here, we can actually loud enough.
Oh yeah, you have no text. You have to turn the music a bit up.
I think
Or do you?
this is good enough,
I
or
can't.
otherwise it will be too loud.
Ah, okay, now I forgot that I've muted the stream.
But yes, just imagine this, the bullet sounds and then the ricochet, and also when it bounces off and stuff like that. Yes, but I think and that's everything for today, right? We just wanted to go through the survey. We'll still have to go through every response and remove the ones that are not gonna make it or that are bots or spam. This just took a lot of time. Don't expect an email by tomorrow, but I think you can expect an email by the beginning of next week, like Monday or something. So we'll send you an email. The alpha is going to start very soon. We're not gonna say the date yet, but you will hear that on Monday. So expect to soon be playing it.
Hey, one of the people in Discord said, could you please go over mine again? I wanted to clarify some of the questions because I wasn't there. Oh. What was the question again?
Sure. What should we do first? Should we go with the mine or should we go with the questions?
What was the first thing you said?
Should we do the mine first or go with the questions game? Well, we have it open. Do you want to explain the mine?
Oh, did we explain it before?
We did.
Okay, so basically, the mine is just a huge hole with resources in it, and you have to use the drill on the left side to dig deeper. And then you can use the grid on the right side to search for minerals. And at the moment you can just create a new layer for free, but in a later version this will either have a cooldown or cost some resources. Yeah, that's something we have to experiment on during the alpha. And yeah, on the left side, the drill you can upgrade it, how fast it drills, how huge the tank volume is, and how much fuel it drains per second. And then you can refill it, and it drills in the background. Yeah, the deeper you drill, the higher the chances are that an empty field contains either some resources or a specific upgrade for the current minigame in the mine. So for example, on the right, it's difficult if I can't move the mouse. On the right side, at the top box, so below the chances, there's a box with resource icon. Yep, below that one. Yeah, and an arrow to an X. That's the price it costs to. It's kind of confusing when you're moving the mouse. That's the price to dig up a single field. At the moment 3, and you can find an upgrade that reduces this price. Below you can see the automatically generated mining resources per second, and one below you can see the conversion factor from mining resources to regular resources. And each of these minigames has a different different values, starting values, different chances, different starting values. And yeah, for example, if you click through them, you can see they all have different starting values based on their
right now we wouldn't find any of those because we're not deep enough into the mine.
Yeah. But still, this is just a prototype of the game, so it's most likely going to change in the future.
And also there's like skills that you can get here, for example, that lets you see one field what's underneath. So we already know there's something here.
Yeah. So if you dig up a new layer,
just drill, keep drilling, you can refill your drill, you can upgrade your drill.
You don't have enough resources.
Yes. But you can see as we drill deeper, your chances increase to find something. So.
And yes, there's a chance to receive 100%, so it's in the end it's pretty satisfying.
that takes a while.
Yeah. It's logarithmically scaled, but with a limit.
So before we stop today's stream, let's go back to the survey. Do you remember the number?
I think it was 100
It was
something.
the
or
first
something
one
like
we
that.
did.
Just check. Oh, 100. It was. Just checking if it was the right one. 109.
Captain, what did you want us to go over again? I wanted to clarify some of the question because I wasn't there. You had some questions on the telepathy thing. Okay, that's the superpower here. And also on the important people. Are you still with us? What are your questions? What should we answer? What you want to know? Telepathy. I understand. Reading minds, and you ask how can you use that to help people. Okay.
Okay, so reason. Yeah. I remember now. Was the question if you can just read minds or inject thoughts into other people's minds?
You can help people with relationships. When people are in trouble, sort of like therapy. I guess that's true. It's also like what Matthias said before. If you wanna make them happy or something, you know what their needs are, and you can fulfill them or like give them presents. Like if they say, "Oh, I don't need anything," you actually know what they think, and maybe you can do a nice thing for the person. Exactly. You understand what's going through their mind, and you can help them communicate.
Mm-hmm.
You can also help the police. I guess that's also a fair point.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot that you can do with it, like a lot of good that you can do with it.
Interrogation.
What was your question about? Like, what was unclear about the people who are important to you? Because you also mentioned that.
I also don't remember what we said that. I think. Oh yeah, I commented on my sister, and yeah, I don't remember too.
I don't know what it was. You remember? Otherwise, okay.
Huh.
For people, the reason I chose them is because my sister is the only family I really truly care about. The IRL friend is the only person I can easily spend time with and have fun. An online friend is the person who helps me cope with my mental problems.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that explains a lot.
I
I think the reason why I said I was confused or something like that was because most people mentioned their parents and something like that, and I think I was just curious why your sister was basically. Yeah.
Oh, I remember because you said you wouldn't put your sister on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was about. And yeah, no, it makes sense. Who says online friends are not real?
Oh, the potion part.
Ah,
Oh.
good reference. Actually, when I saw antimatter, I thought of antimatter dimensions.
Hmm.
Questions best to you. I'll look at this after the stream. Okay. Because we were questioning how I found out about the game through Reddit. Oh yeah, I really want to know this. That he saw it on Reddit. But you found it through the list of incremental games. Or actually,
Is the perfect hotel already mentioned there?
yes, I actually asked the person who did this list not long ago, actually in January, I think. About no, the Perfect Tower 2 is not on it, but the Perfect Tower. That's what I asked them to add on it. In January when we actually officially announced that we're working on the Perfect Tower 2. Interesting that actually somebody saw that and looked for it. So I guess it was worth just asking him to put this on it. Because it was also on the Incremental Games Plaza. That was not me. And I saw that a lot of people had clicked it. And then I asked them to add the proper information to it and also add it to the list of incremental games. Okay, and that explains a lot. That makes sense. I was like, how would you come to the topic? How would you find the subreddit? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that I would say that's enough for today. We again streamed like 3 hours. We just wanted to do like a few submissions from the survey.
I guess 3 hours is the minimum for a stream.
Exactly. I don't think we can ever do a short stream. At least this time we didn't race to something. So
Yeah, I guess the next stream is again going to take 8 hours. Just showing one building.
I think if I have the time, I might do a Perfect Tower marathon stream when we actually launch the alpha. It's just an idea, but maybe we can do that. That would be interesting. At least leave the game running on stream. Yeah. Well, then that's it for today. If you have any further questions, you can always contact us on Discord. If you're not on Discord, go to Discord. We're there. We're active. We'll answer all your questions. And Alpha is starting soon. You will hear from us next week, beginning of next week. You'll get the date on Monday. So make sure to check the dev diary. And that's all from my side. Matthias, do you have anything else to say?
Nope. Let's just make a bro fist.
This way. No, this. This way.
What the hell is wrong with your special perception? Let's just do a high five.
It just doesn't work. Let's just go like this.
It just feels like this. You know this meme.
It doesn't work with the current camera setup. So, have a good night, have a good day, whatever time zone you're in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See you. Bye.